inviting you to join us every morning right here on CBS. We'll have the important stories and the interviews, all the news that matters, really. And now you can find us anytime you want on the new Paramount Plus app. So we'll see you every morning right here on CBS. I thought that one was pretty good.
The Grammys celebrate
the life-changing power of music.
the legends of change.
The songs that sparked revolution.
With performances by Patti LaBelle, Yolanda Adams, Chris Stapleton, Leanne Rimes, Gladys Knight, and more. Common hosts a Grammy salute to the sounds of change. Wednesday, 9/8 Central on CBS.
This Wednesday, only at Ashley Home Store's St. Patrick's Day sale. Save 30% off your first item and 20% off the rest of your purchase. Plus, wear green and get $100 Ashley cash. This Wednesday, only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
With a full range of BMW X vehicles available, no matter what adventure lies around the corner, there's an X for that. Lease a 2021 BMW X3 X-Drive 30i for $429 per month.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
This Wednesday, only at Ashley Home Store's St. Patrick's Day sale. Save 30% off your first item and 20% off the rest of your purchase. Plus, wear green and get $100 Ashley cash. This Wednesday, only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
At least 15 shot, 2 dead at a Chicago party. The CBS 2 investigators are digging into why this business never should have been open in the first place.
They got Hartman in custody, that Maryland, that crazy stowaway.
She's made worldwide headlines for sneaking onto planes. Now the serial stowaway tells me how she did it.
I was always let through.
What do you mean let through?
And a musical journey from the South Side to the lyric opera and the teachers who helped this amazing singer.
We start tonight with a real-time weather alert. Wintry conditions return tomorrow morning, and that includes ice and snow.
Let's get right to Robb Ellis with your first look, Rob.
Yeah, we're looking at a real-time weather alert for this very large system. This is what's going to bring as much as 1 foot to 2 feet of snow to parts of Colorado, Wyoming, and Nebraska. Blizzard warnings are in place there, but I want you to look at how far those extend to the east and what is not in place right now. No winter weather advisories at the moment, and that should give you an idea of the severity of this wintry system. It is going to cause some problems. That's why we have the real-time weather alert, but it looks like the impacts will be minimal, and here's part of the reason why. Temperatures are relatively mild. They are going to be cooling down tonight as some of that moisture moves in. Right now, nothing showing up on radar. Temperatures dropping to around 30 for tonight, but it looks like we'll hold off the precipitation. Some new data has been coming in real time, and it slows this down, but I do think we'll be dealing with some wintry precipitation tomorrow through about midday and continuing through the afternoon. How much snow could we see? I've got some snowfall totals for you. That's coming up.
Thank you, Rob. Next 24 hours could be tricky, so track the weather all day with the CBS Chicago app. Just click on the real-time weather. Developing tonight, 15 people shot at the same party in Chicago.
Right now, 2 people are dead. Some of the 13 others wounded remain in the hospital in critical condition. Videos posted to social media show the chaotic scene just before 5 this morning inside an auto repair shop with a bar in a back room. A 30-year-old woman and a 39-year-old man died at the scene. Paramedics took 7 7 others to hospitals, and some victims drove themselves to emergency rooms. Police say they recovered 4 weapons, but so far won't say if more than one gunman was involved.
CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozlov digging into previous trouble at the business, joining us now live in our Streetside studio. Dana.
Brad and Irika, we've learned that this is not the first incident at that address related to unlicensed parties. In fact, we have learned that that building has a problematic past with police and the city. Bright red business closed stickers are clearly visible on this Park Manor building, shut down by Chicago police hours after the mass shooting there. But we've learned problems at this address actually began 3 years ago. Records we obtained show Southside Think Tank and its owner, Jerome Riley, were slapped with 4 cease and desist citations in 2018 for holding unlicensed parties in the same building. In 2019, records show Riley and another business he owned, Taboo Lounge, were issued 4 more cease and desist notices, and Riley was arrested for violating the orders. Southside Think Tank is still on an awning at that location. A city spokesperson says a limited business license for consulting only issued to Riley and Southside Think Tank is still active at that location. But Riley tells me he has no connection to that building anymore. He showed me this 2019 eviction order and says someone else is leasing space there. So who is? Andy Skolnick confirms he's a member of Stone Dry LLC, which owns the building. He's also the president of the Southside Builders Association. Skolnick says Hardy's Towing and Recovery, Inc. currently leases that property. Hardy's Towing and Recovery is listed at 1705 East 67th Street. We tried to track them down. It's an apartment building. No Hardy's Towing and Recovery listed there. Former Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Inspector Joe McGreal says the city has a few options.
First of all, they could go after the building owner, take civil action against the owner of the building. They'll also try to identify the owner of the business inside.
McGreal, now a private investigator, says BACP should have followed up on its 2019 investigation too, and questions why the building wasn't shut down.
So that's one thing that I should be asking the city is, did you ever follow up after 2019?
Yeah.
And I did ask a city spokesperson that question, but did not get a direct answer. That spokesperson only saying they've received no complaints about that address since 2019. Also, the building's owner I spoke with tonight says the current lease does not allow for any parties. Live in the Streetside studio, Dana Kozlov, CBS 2 News. Irika.
All right, Dana, thank you.
For nearly 20 years, Marilyn Hartman baffled everyone. Post 9/11, she flew the world over and never had a ticket. She became America's serial stowaway. The one thing she's never done is talk about it in depth. How? Why? Will she do it again? Never talked about it until right now.
I don't mind if people saying she's a nut. Because when I look at it objectively, just all I see is craziness. I purposely remained a mystery because of the crazy factor. This makes it even crazy. You might want to reconsider everything. It was like something out of a movie.
Earlier this week, Marilyn Hartman earned the title of stowaway for sneaking onto a Southwest Airlines plane.
Marilyn Hartman
is busted again.
She was arrested.
Serial stowaway
Has slipped through security.
again. A serial stowaway.
Serial stowaway.
Infamous serial stowaway case.
So Bradford, I don't care at all if someone calls me crazy. I mean, the story is crazy.
This call is recorded and subject to monitoring. Call accepted.
Hello, is this Fred Edwards?
Yeah, hi, Marilyn. How are you?
I really appreciate you reaching out to me. That was a very nice letter and everything, and I like your reporting as well. I've given this a lot of thought, and I'm willing to do this.
Can I record this call?
You definitely can record it. That's fine.
And we were off, like Marilyn Hartman herself, America's serial stowaway. We were pen pals since late 2019, her last attempt to flee for free.
Okay, emergency, this is Michelle.
There's been a Maryland sighting over here.
Can you keep an eye on her for me?
From the Cook County Jail, she wrote she wanted to apologize. My mea culpa to law enforcement, including the TSA. It was not my intention to make their jobs more difficult.
How many times do you think you've done that?
At least 30 times.
The CBS 2 investigators, through a series of sources, public records requests, Miss Hartman's recollections, and more, we've compiled a forensic accounting of her free rides. Jacksonville, Seattle, Phoenix, Philly, Atlanta, Minneapolis, San Fran, London. A real catch-me-if-you-can, she says, began in 2002.
The first time I was able to get through, I flew to Copenhagen. The second time, I flew into Paris.
It wasn't until some 12 years later she popped on the radar of law enforcement. August 2014, Miss Hartman Sands' ticket flew from San Jose to L.A. A judge then warned her, don't do it again. 7 months later.
She's known as the serial stowaway all across the country.
Ms. Hartman has been determined by forensic psychologists to be incompetent to proceed.
I know they keep emphasizing the mental illness, but no, I'm pretty good.
Good at getting away with it. Her law enforcement documents, as early as 2015, Hartman was on the trespass list, known as a serial stowaway, considered a high security risk, and a habitual stowaway.
The thing I've got to tell you, I have never been able to board a plane by myself. I was always let through.
What do you mean let through?
I mean, I was able to go through the security line without a boarding pass.
A year prior to her arrest, her last success, January 2018, reports obtained by the CBS 2 investigators say Miss Hartman evaded the security process and document ticket check and took a $3,500 flight to London, courtesy British Airways. She'd become omnipresent at TSA checkpoints, her picture at O'Hare here.
I got by them. This is the thing that is so crazy. By following someone, they would be carrying like a blue bag. And the next thing I know, I get into the TSA line, and TSA lets me through, and they think I'm with the guy with the blue bag.
For her to be able to repeat that over and over, that is just absolutely mind-boggling.
It was remarkably unsophisticated.
It's the unsophisticated types of plans that are most often the most successful.
Professor Jeff Price, once assistant head of security at Denver International, has written this, the textbook on aviation security.
One would presume there would be some dossier at TSA headquarters of the Marilyn Hartman playbook. We can't find anything.
They literally should have a curriculum designed around how she's able to get through security. And that should be taught to every transportation security officer out there.
Marilyn Hartman looks like a grandmother. It makes you wonder, would the same courtesy, and by courtesy I mean baffling blunder, would the same courtesy be extended to a young man with olive skin or a mother wearing a hijab? Or do we need to think differently?
We definitely need to think differently. We can't constantly be preparing for the last attack. The next attack will not look like that.
And the next attacker.
And the next attacker, exactly.
When I took the plane ride, I wasn't happy. I wasn't, I'm going here or there. I was actually in a depressed state of mind.
Diagnosed bipolar, it wasn't a manic episode that set off the flight trigger. It was the opposite. Example, 2015. Back-to-back days, one Midway, one O'Hare. Same clothes, same carry-on. So depressed, she'd admit, her desperation got her caught. Twice.
You literally were feeling emotionally a fight or flight, and you literally took a flight.
That is literally what happened. I'm bipolar, and this is something I rejected for years.
A behavior, she says, was born when she was.
There was so much violence and mental illness. I have a real tough judge on this case. Judge Champ is pissed at me for the situation in which I found myself.
I will not be giving her a third probation, the judge said at a hearing this month. Hartman's already been in custody for 500-plus days.
Call accepted.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Brad. Is it a busy day for you?
Miss Hartman had a warmth about her. Was contemplative, writing of the inequities Jim Crow-like in jail. Now on a steady diet of counseling and daily meds.
So you've had a hell of a life.
Yeah, it has been.
Would you consider yourself fascinating?
Yes, I would under circumstances, and I downplay it.
Yeah.
Brad, I don't,
And never did an interview until I was confident that I wouldn't take an illegal flight again. A promise. And a wing and a prayer.
I want the opportunity to apologize for people who I've hurt.
Ms. Hartman's plea deal could be finalized in weeks. The CBS 2 investigators could not find anyone, from TSA to airline gate agents to flight attendants, anyone who'd ever been disciplined. Remember, Hartman never had a ticket. We reached out to carriers, Southwest, United, Delta, nothing. American said they were aware of Marilyn Hartman and said they had a rigorous process in place to ensure safety.
Fascinating to hear her talk, Brad. So now, how is she doing physically and mentally?
Yeah, that's been a big question for a long time, Irika. Now, per her, Marilyn says she's never been better. She's never been in custody this long either, so never had the access to health care. Never until now also accepted her diagnosis. So it's been 500 days, health care, right meds, counseling, and more, Irika.
All right. Good work, Brad.
Thank you.
Well, questions tonight about how a Chicago police sergeant could be hit by a bullet right outside of a police station. The good news is he's already out of the hospital, but our Stephen Graves is trying to figure out how it happened in the first place.
The outside of Chicago's District 6 police station turning into a scene of a massive investigation Sunday afternoon. SWAT and police K-9 searching around 78th and Halstead. Officers knocking on home doors, combing through alleys. Many people confused as to why.
When the cop cars started lining up here, I started noticing, I'm like, what's going on? And I was taking care of a customer.
This store manager did not hear anything. His shop is feet from the station's parking lot. That's where Chicago police say a sergeant was standing when he heard a gunshot, then felt pain, a graze wound to the chin. Police say they're looking at multiple cameras for clues. No details on the search for a suspect given at this afternoon press conference.
None of the evidence that we so far heard from the officer, from the sergeant, or others that heard the shot have any additional information that we can corroborate.
Superintendent David Brown using this as an opportunity to highlight that more than a dozen officers have been shot at in the city so far this year. Questions still surrounding the incident with this 26-year veteran. Thankfully, he was not seriously hurt. In Gresham, Stephen Graves, CBS 2 News.
The sergeant only spent about 5 hours in the hospital. Superintendent Brown says he was in good spirits.
Taking a look at the Illinois battle against COVID-19, the state health department reports nearly 1,500 new cases, 19 new deaths tonight. Governor J.B. Pritzker says that today Illinois became the 5th state in the nation, the first in the Midwest to administer 4 million COVID-19 vaccinations. Yesterday, more than 96,000 people here got their shots. 11.7% of the state's population now vaccinated against the virus. For the latest rollout data on COVID-19 vaccinations in Illinois, check out our new vaccine tracker at cbschicago.com. We've compiled a new interactive maps and all the up-to-date information that you need.
A grassroots effort hopes to get more COVID-19 shots to people in Chicago's hard-hit Austin neighborhood. Rush University Medical Center set up this vaccination clinic at Circle Rock Charter School. It's appointment only for now, open to anyone over 18 who lives in the neighborhood, and it's mostly volunteers bringing vaccines into the community.
Hired nurses who are coming in and volunteering their time. 90%, if you can even imagine, of people volunteering their time to ensure that this community gets vaccinated is just, it's what's right in healthcare.
The clinic expects to vaccinate some 1,200 people each Sunday for the next 6 weeks. You just saw the Grammys. Well, we'd like you to meet a different kind of music superstar right here in Chicago. Listen to that. Whitney Morrison's journey from the South Side to the lyric opera of Chicago and the teachers who helped get her there.
Gotta see that. Plus, March Madness officially here. We'll hear from top seed Illinois and the Loyola Ramblers, who are looking for another special tournament run.
This is Paramount Plus. This is investigators, defenders, and
7 strangers picked to live in a house.
this is young SpongeBob, young Sheldon, and younger. This is everything you've been looking for.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Now streaming.
Spring is finally here, and you're just itching to upgrade your stuff. The best way to do that is in a new Hyundai. Like the Santa Fe with an available class-exclusive digital smartphone key and loads of the latest technology. Drive your upgrade home instead of having it delivered, although we can do that too during the Hyundai Spring Upgrade event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on select vehicles, plus 0 payments for 90 days. Visit buyhyundai.com.
When you deposit on DraftKings at Casino Queen Sportsbook, you can get a bonus up to